I updated the application and it worked very nice. I didn't have all the advertising and all that, but apparently after around a day or something like that, it got into problems. So now I had, thankfully I had backed up the old program. I just really get tired of these things. Guess not. It's just one issue after another with mobile phones. Like, pink quick memo I have here at the moment. I have it pink, and it's just anyway. And I deleted nearly 3 months of notes as well. So it's not really going that good in regards to these things. And again, one issue after another, it seems. It's just, would like to use the time actually using the mobile instead of actually fixing issues and, trying to get around things and get things to work and all that. But let's go to the article I wanted to read. So I actually have a response from I think he's a Jew. Just incredible how they attack the truth. A lot of them. Let's see here. Let's see what he responded. It's incredible. The same things that Yeshua said nearly 2,000 years ago, and they, some of them still don't understand and still attack. Like for example, when Yeshua said, that you need to eat my flesh and my blood. And then a lot of his disciples apparently turned away from him and stopped following him. Well, was Jesus talking about that we need to eat his literal blood and flesh? There we go. That's the guy. But anyway, no, of course not. He was talking about believing. You have to see the context of it. In regards of believing in him. Believing in that he was executed and so forward. It's just so apparently it's he's writing three things here. Bullshit. A lot of bullshit. It's funny, right? I mean, one of the things he says here, there's no resurrection and all that. Well, the Jews out there that actually believe the Messiah has to resurrect. There are groups of Jews out there, that understand that, he has to resurrect and all that. One of the groups is one of these false messiahs. I can't remember his name at the moment. But the Jews have many false messiahs. They rejected the real Messiah and then they go to all these fake ones and all that. And there are multiple messiahs. Apparently it seems there's no problem if a Jew believe in a false Messiah. But if you believe in Yeshua, you have now turned away from being Jewish, apparently. Let's see here. It says Jesus was a result of unlearned in Hebrew. He has so many things wrong. Oh my. Anyway, you get somewhat, of course it's interesting to talk to Jews and all that and see their perspective and all that. And, but, sometimes it just, it gets too much, the lengths that they will go to reject the Messiah is just incredible. So, in regards of Yeshua, it's very sad to see. So, and of course they should have been some of the first to actually stand for the truth. I guess I'll write back to him after the video. See if I can just get these on. And I should actually, I'm thinking of, restarting the mobile as well. Okay, that's more in regards, so, okay. People responding here and there. Allow. I'm not sure why the new program of Do Recorder didn't. I just put a video on YouTube saying, hey, go get it. It's a wonderful application and all that. And then, not long after, apparently it stops working for me in regards of YouTube. No idea. It gave me this error. I can't even remember the error. Something, just error every time, and I'm like, that's just bullshit. And of course it's bullshit. And you just get so tired of these things, But it looks very good, You have all the features in regards to the paid module and all that, and it seems to actually work pretty good without any ads or anything like that. And sadly, it just had some flaws. So I guess I'll try installing it again and hope that it actually will, work. That's interesting. You really have to be careful when people talk and all that, and they will, this guy is rejecting the resurrection. And I'm like, I'm getting off topic here. But he's rejecting the resurrection, and I'm like, it is utter bullshit, You hear a lot of these, give me a break. Anyway, so he's rejecting the resurrection. I'm like, okay, so what is your background? I want to know your background, because that's pretty important to know which spirit you're actually led by, right? So, finding out, do you actually believe in Yeshua? No. And I thought actually I was in a place of believers. I thought it actually was a place for Christian believers that also believe in regards to the Torah. I'm not sure why. I don't know why these. It's just incredible. It's just. But yeah, it just gets old in regards of hearing these different things, that's for sure. Both as like using an argument. Oh, but Daniel is not in regards. They have the Ketuvim in regards of the. Let's see if I can remember. It was. No. Sorry. The Tanakh. I'm a little slow in the head here. The Tanakh, that you have the. What is it called? You have the. What is it called? What is it called in Hebrew? I can't even remember them. You have the Tanakh. You have the. Let's see. Apparently my brain is. Let's see if I can find. You have the Tanakh, which is in regards to the Torah. You have the Navaim, and then you have the the writings, the Ketuvim or something like that. And he uses an argument that Daniel is not found in the prophets. And I'm like, so you want to deny that Daniel is a prophet? It's just, what is that argument anyway? It's a bullshit argument, It's utter bullshit, So, but Daniel is not found in the prophets and all that. So you're saying that Daniel was not a prophet? Is that, it's just bullshit arguments. And he's actually, one is actually talking about, in regards to the resurrection and all that. And then he told, Daniel is not even on the prophet section and all that. Give me, what is that? This just, the argument is just so outrageous. It's preposterous, I think it's called. It's just, also Daniel is not found in the section of prophets in your, So what? So, but it's found in the Bible, right? In your writings, yeah. So he's not prophesying about Babylon, Medo-Persia, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and all. Yeah, of course he is. So is he? Would he be considered a prophet? I think, yeah. Anyway, so what do I care in regards of? It's just, so he rejects. So he goes into rejecting the resurrection and all that. He says, that's, So of course I respond, and he says to me, you won't find resurrection in the book of the law. And I'm like, okay, I might not have on the brain, a specific place, but, the people, when they die, they're going to where? Sheol, right? The realm of death, the place of the dead, if we're going to have, a future kingdom, right? With with God, with Jehovah, then, anyway, so But anyway, let's go back to the topic here. But it is an interesting thing, asked him in regards of who, he says, well, my God is the God of Israel or God of Abraham. And that's the thing, it's the same thing with these Jews, that's the interesting thing when you actually go to Israel. You can find the same things going on nearly 2,000 years. And if you remember the words of Yeshua, you can still see the exact same things 2,000 years, nearly 2,000 years after. It's very interesting. Yeshua said, in regards of, the Jews said, where we have, God as our Father and all that. And Yeshua is saying no, because if you had God as your Father, you would love me because I've come from him, right? And, of course, if Yeshua is God in the flesh, of course the Jews, should love him, right? Because if they say they love God and yet they hate the Son, well, that seems to be conflicting, doesn't it? Anyway, so he also talks about breaking the law in regards of actually killing him. Why do you want to kill me, And then he fixes it in regards of breaking the law, So that's an interesting thing as well in regards of. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, Well, I asked him a question in regards to reject Yeshua as a Jewish king and Messiah who died for the sins of the world and rose again 3 days later. Jehovah put to death on the tree as his bread was broken and his wine poured out for the sins of the world. That very perfect, spotless, sinless Passover lamb of Jehovah who was slain, who we who believe in Elohim, that would be plural for gods, plural for God, so that's actually gods. I just used the Hebrew here in regards of Elohim, preached resurrection to everlasting life in his name. And so he didn't really answer me directly, that's for sure. So he says Jesus was a result of unlearned in Hebrew law theology. Oh, really? So who was the first Christians? Who was the first believers? Anyway, there's so many problems with these three things. But anyway, I'll respond later. It says there's not a single name of Yeshua prophesied by Hebrew prophets. I see. He says another one. There's no prophecy in Hebrew scripture about an anointed or king or prophet or high priest that will die and rise again. I guess you didn't read Isaiah 53, by the way. And by the way, calculating the 70 weeks in regards to when the Messiah was to be cut off, which is, if you calculate it, 29.5 AD. Oh, my nose. That was a little moisty, I guess. Any case, so these arguments is just, I think they're pretty baseless. If the Messiah needed to come in 78, after, in the 70 week, in the middle of the week and be cut off, then, I guess one of the interesting, there's a channel in regards to YouTube, in regards to Jews, one for Israel or something like that. And they have like a list of Jews that have become believers, and it's just so powerful to listen to their, and they know Hebrew, so, but anyway, they're so powerful to listen to these testimonies. As I understand it, there's over 30,000 Christian Jews in Israel now, so that's nice. Of course, it's still a small, but compared to in the beginning, as I understand it, that was like 30 Jews in 48 or something like that in Israel. But of course, there was probably also less Jews and at that point in the land. But in any case, let's see here. But let's get to it. He says resurrection was a sorrow Adrian believed. Yeah. Anyway, he thinks, oh, it's pagan and all that. Well, what is pagan is some other things that Jews believe in regards of the rest. Not the. Well, actually, when you are in Israel, the Jews, there are, I don't know how many, but there are Jews that understand in regards to the resurrection, because they dig their, when they die, they have graveyards on the Mount of Olives. Now, why would they put the graves on the Mount of Olives? Well, where is Yeshua going to come back at? In regards of, splitting the mountain as well and so forward. So, this is one of the things that I remember from being in Israel, that the Jews are having the graves out on the Mount of Olives to hope that they would be the first to be resurrected. Now, if that is the case, apparently they also believe in the resurrection. Now, I do know that, there are also some Jews. Now, I guess there's many different kinds of belief in regards of, but, there's the resurrection. No, not the incarnation doctrine as well. I guess it goes back to Jewish mysticism and all that. And that, of course, is pagan bullshit, And I think they have this thing, and you can be, just like born a gent. Yeah, I can't remember all the details. It's just bullshit, Just keep to the Bible, So, anyway, I really want to respond to this guy, Oh, it's whew. Anyway, but you do get kind of tired of, because it seems like nothing really, you just hope at some point that that's something that he begins to question, but anyway. Let's get going to the fungal thing. I was looking into the requirement for this article here. It's incredible that that updating the application would stop actually being able to go on YouTube. That's now sometimes the old version won't go online and so forward, but it's usually it's not that, with the new program that I installed, it was just, when it began to do it, it was nearly all the time. I tried to reset reset the mobile and all that, and it worked once in regards of getting online, and then it just, it stopped working totally. So not sure what is going on with that. That's again crazy days as usually on the mobile, and you just get tired of it. So requirements for let's turn it around here. Requirements for ergosterol in berberine tolerance underlies sinner, and of course I'm still on diflucan, and I'm on which day? I think it must be 15, 16. So let's see here. That would be 15. No. Finger. That would be 13, 15, 16, 17. I think I'm on 17. No, sorry, not. Yeah, 17. Oh, yeah, that's right. It actually followed pretty good in regards of the month as well. But then when is it 17 at sunset, or is it 17 at, when did I start? I started Sunday, I guess, at the beginning of Sunday, the first day of the week. So that was after sunset. So I guess I'm on day 16 at the moment then. And at sunset, it will be day 17, if I get that right. So that's pretty good, I guess. I'm not eating so much at the moment because, again, the resources are very, very low at the moment. I'm in red numbers and all that, so I'm not really sure what to do overall in regards. It's like, it seems a little hopeless overall. It's like, okay, I have diflucan for a good some days, but I'm not sure if it will. Still researching, and I'm at a point where I'm feeling like I need a break, from this, and I'm not totally the hope of it actually totally fixing it have gone down, but anyway, we'll see over time. I can still feel somewhat in my arms and my legs and so forward. Again, it doesn't seem so powerful, but it's still there. So, and having issues in my groin area and as well and all that. But I found this in regards to berberine, which actually seems to some articles actually say it's more effective than diflucan, and actually that you can actually take it with the diflucan as well. And I found some where they also have the berberine with another kind of herb that is also said to boost the immune system, and it's used in synergy as well, I guess it's called, in regards of synergism. So I wonder, maybe I could actually also take that and but I'm still taking some cinnamon extract at the moment, or real. I have 2 different kinds of cinnamon still as a spice, so I'm just putting in the water, and when I'm drinking water, just having a little of that. And I still have the resveratrol, which is also said to be antifungal to help. And so anyway, so let's read the article. This is original research article, Front Cell Infect Microbiology, 29 November 2017, and someplace. Requirement for ergosterol in berberine tolerance underlies synergism of fluconazole, and fluconazole is diflucan, and berberine against fluconazole resistance candida albicans isolates. And I do wonder in regards to the berberine if it actually if the fungus can actually become resistant to berberine, because if it cannot, it would be a very powerful tool, of course. But here we have Xiyu Xu, or Hu Kuan, or Yang Wang, or Hua Xiong, or Yun Sun, Yan Yang Su, Nuan Ya, and Yuan Ying Yang. Yeah, okay. Department of Pharmacy, Yinan Military General Hospital, Jinan, China. And number 2, New Drug Research and Development Center School. So these are, I guess that's from where they are from. And that's number 2, New Drug Research and Development Center School of Pharmacy, 2nd Military Medical University, Shanghai, China. And number 3, Shanghai Pudong Institute for Food and Drug Control, Shanghai, China. Okay. So, Candida albicans is one of the most common fungal pathogens, harmful, microbes, I guess. Our previous study demonstrate that concomitant use, I don't know what concomitant is. By the way, my medical dictionary is also close to to run out. It's incredible. They have it for free for 30 days, and yet they still had advertising in the application. That's bullshit, I think. So-called free, you have access. Free, when you're putting advertising in an application, I wouldn't really say it's free, because you're actually exchanging, something, They are getting something. They're getting advertising on your, to your face. Following our accompanying as a sequence and excessive growth of bureaucracy of concomitant problems, accompanying attendant consequence. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what. Now, of course, we have the problem of the old application, saying that the network status is poor. We actually didn't have that in the new version that I had. I never saw that message. But of course, if you can't really join, then it's a problem, of course. Anyway, a concomitant, an event of situation that happens at the same time as or in connection with another. Okay. Happening, natural event. Okay, let's go back to the other one. Again, one thing for another, pissing me off in some sense. I'm just getting so tired of these complaints and they're not working. It actually seems so good, It's like, oh, we, finally have something that just works without any advertising, and yet, nope. Anyway, Candida albicans is one of the most common fungal pathogens. Our previous study demonstrated that concomitant use of berberine and fluconazole, apparently BBR or FLC, showed a synergistic action against FLC or fluconazole resistance Candida albicans. So we have a lot of. Let's try to take that. I think I know what it means, but let's see. Used a synergistic use, especially of drugs or muscles that work together, so the total effect is greater than the sum of the two or more. So they're working together. So if you take diflucan and take this thing together, it will be more powerful. So you take the natural berberine and the unnatural fluconazole, and they will they show the synergistic action against fluconazole resistance Candida albicans in vitro. In vitro, that's I think it's outside, but I tend to not remember. Outside the organism. It's Latin because it's very hard to say, outside the body, right? If you're a white coat murderer. Anyway, and Candida albicans in vitro and BBR, berberine, had a major antifungal effect in synergism. Together. Again, I guess they just can't, the working together of two things, muscles or drug, for example, to produce an effect greater than the sum of the individual effect. The theological that's anyway. So if I can get some berberine and some I don't know if I can get it in a Danish shop without alcohol, but that would be, I would need to check a natural shop and all that, and maybe try that out as well. Anyway, use of berberine and fluconazole showed I should actually, in regards to the meat, I should just have eat 250 grams of meat a day or something like that. Then the body would still have things to go by. And then, the problem is if you're fasting for longer periods is that you feel like you're not working totally, you get into a mode of being less energetic, I guess. And, it becomes, but I guess, it might be also nice with so the body can just focus on other things and all that. But our previous study demonstrated that concomitant use of berberine and fluconazole showed a synergistic action against fluconazole resistance Candida albicans in vitro. I guess, even if the Candida might have become resistant to fluconazole or diflucan, as it can become, if you have something else that might, annoy the Candida, it might, I wonder if it might actually still then do something, because the Candida albicans are fighting on two fronts at that point. And now, of course, it seems like in regards to the natural things, in regards of Candida albicans, if you have a multiple antifungal together, that seems to actually be better than having just one. Of course, some are talking about, that you take one remedy 1 week and another remedy another week, and that you change it so the fungus doesn't become resistant to it. But I've seen one product of one of these naturopaths where he just put a lot of different things in the product itself and says that you don't need to what is it called? They have a name for that. But, you don't need to, because you have so many things in the product itself, so it doesn't really become, you don't need to, what is it called, roll around, no, I can't remember, rotate, you don't need to rotate, you just need to take this thing and all that, but, it's really, really expensive in regards of that product, and it's, so anyway, but that would be interesting to try out, for sure. But again, I've tried so many things out, and not really getting to the bottom of it. Now, of course, I know that diet has a difference for sure. So being low on sugar is absolutely. I just wish I knew these things for 19 years ago, because I think I could restore myself to full health in the past. I'm not so certain anymore that I can. So I had hoped that diflucan would give it a really, really good knockout, but yeah, it's yeah, anyway, Candida albicans is one of the most common fungal pathogens. Our previous study demonstrate the concomitant use of berberine. What was it? Demonstrate the concomitant. Oh, let's try to take that. Following or accompanying as a consequence. Following or accompanying as a consequence an excessive growth of. Okay, whatever. Yeah, big word, I guess. That's the thing, these people just use these words so they can't speak on a fourth grade level. It's very hard for them to speak on a fourth grade level, apparently. So showed us, let's see here. Demonstrated that concomitant use of berberine and fluconazole showed a synergistic action against fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans in vitro, and berberine had a major antifungal effect in synergism. And as I understand it, berberine by itself has an antifungal. Sadly, I did find one of these plants that actually should have berberine in them, but I really never got to the point of actually trying it out. I never actually, began to. I found the plant. I was out biking at some place long away from my home, and I found it with this red thing. So it should be able to find it in Denmark. It looked like that thing in any case. So I think it is. I think it was, but I never really got into. Had this flower and it has this red thing in them. It's really yeah. Anyway, because if that was I could get it for free if I can find it again in nature, I can pretty much just get it for free, and it would be a lot cheaper. While fluconazole played a role of increasing the intracellular berberine concentration, since the antifungal activity of berberine alone is very weak, well, I've seen other results that actually says it's more powerful than berberine. No, sorry, than fluconazole or diflucan. So I actually seen the MIC. Well, this is actually micro. I have some place in regards of where you see diflucan, and I do wonder if I still can find that. I think I posted it on my Facebook. Where are my glasses? See if I can just search here. Berberine. Maybe I wrote berberine. I'm not sure. Berberine. Yeah, here we. No, maybe it's let's see. No, that's an article on berberine, but it's not really the. Here they say. That's in regards of fluconazole resistance Candida and Cryptococcus neoformans strains showed berberine MICs, which is like the minimum inhibition something. I think it was. It's just, I can't, they're using that word a lot of time in regards of, and I actually also saw something in regards of how to understand the MIC in regards of, but I can't remember the whole details of it. No, that's not. Okay, let's go to the Stedman Medical that is nearly running out. And I do have pop-up blogger in regards of it. Let's see here. Minimal inhibitory. No. I don't have the pop-up blogger at the moment, and sometimes there's a full screen. Abbreviation for minimum inhibitory concentration. Okay, and I can't probably remember that concentration. Inhibitory concentration. Minimum inhibitory concentration. It's one of these short forms that I really have a hard time remembering. But it's used a lot of times. But anyway, in regards to the other article, it says fluconazole resistance Candida cryptococcus neoformans strain showed berberine, what was it? Minimum inhibitory concentrations equal to 8 microgram per milliliter. So here it says 128 milliliters per microgram per milliliter. So it says equal to 8 micrograms per milliliter and 16 micrograms per milliliter. So that was down on 8 micrograms per milliliter as far as I can see in regards to Candida albicans. And the formula that I saw was also showing, but I don't know where it is, but they showed it in regards to different species of Candida albicans. They had different, I think they had 3 or something like that, and then they have others, and you could just see it was very, very low minimum inhibitory concentration that this berberine actually had. Sadly, I can't seem to find it on my Facebook, but I'm pretty sure I posted it somewhere. But the problem is I'm writing too much on my Facebook, so it's really no I don't know what is. Oh, that is. It actually was at the same place, but it doesn't show the answers that I put. I put it afterwards here. And let's we just put on the camera here. Camera. Let's see here. No, that's my hand. We need to turn it around. And there we go. As you can see, we have fluconazole and we have berberine. We have Candida tropicalis, albicans, so 1, 2, 3 of these difference, and all of have berberine 8 micrograms per milliliter in regards of effectiveness against the fungal. Now I don't know if these results are outside. They're probably outside the tube, I guess, but still, you have Cryptococcus. They actually says 16, so that seems to be an agreement with the article that we both have 8 micrograms and 16 micrograms in regards to being the minimum inhibitory what was it, MEC concentration. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, then we also have parapsilosis. So that's Candida again, and we have Crucia. So it actually seems like it's a pretty effective natural thing according to this anyway. So so it seems to be, according to this, actually pretty effective. Now, these results are probably done outside, in vitro, I think it was called, instead of in vivo, in a glass, outside or whatever, in a petri dish, as they also call them, these round ones, I don't know, but at least they say origin from blood, and they have one from the urine in regards of Cryptococcus neoformans. But they, there's different kinds of, you have this the variations of Candida albicans where some are resistant to this and some are resistant to that and all that. So besides the Candida albicans, you also have, strains of resistance, I guess, different variations of resistance and all that. And that's one of the things they can check as well. But apparently it's an unseen problem in. I guess I'm getting closer to understanding the problem and hopefully getting to a point where I can actually fix it. But I don't know. Again, my arms at the moment are still, it's still there. It's still there. It's still, in my arms. So I don't know if it actually will. I still have a good amount of diflucan to take, and but I I must say I don't have much hope for it to totally annihilate it. But it was a try, worth a try. And I'll see if it actually becomes better over the days. But yeah, I sadly think it's it did something for sure, but it didn't totally. Maybe I need longer. Now I have for less than 2 weeks now for this, and it's interesting how these dreams that you have, these weird dreams that you have on, But in any case, so and I'm still taking other antifungals, on the side, taking some gloves, for example, and chewing them up, and it's pretty, just chewing them up and just see if we can find. And these are said to be antimicrobial as well. Let's see if we can figure it out. There we go. And they're pretty, they're pretty, it's not totally powerful, but it's okay. You just, get a good, an okay breath, and yeah, you also get a black tongue on this, but it's said to be antimicrobial and all that. Antifungus, antibacteria. I'm not sure in regards to antivirus, but when they say antimicrobial, it should be all of it, right? So, but in any case, that is said to be really powerful as well. It has it's the number one in antioxidants, and apparently also in polyphenols, as I understand it. So, but they're pretty tasty. It's like candy. You can just eat them like candy, I saw this thing, you shouldn't get too much and all that. I haven't had any problem with them in regards of just, eating them. And I've been eating a lot, I had a huge, just standing on the table and was just like popcorn in some sense. You have to chew a little more, just chew them up. Some say you spit them out afterwards. I don't. I just eat them, chew them up. So it's as much as powder. If you just eat them and just swallow them, it seems like in the toilet that they can actually go through the digestive system. So just be aware of that. So of course you want to chew them up, right? You want to have them, if they're antimicrobial and antifungus and all that, you would have to chew them up and eat them, and then should go through your whole digestion system and help, I would think. Whatever the case, that's what it's a replacement of candy, right? There are somewhat of some sugar in it, I think, but it's antifungal, so of course you can get the oil instead, but I guess that's more powerful. But there are some warnings about that, and again, I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, let's get back to it, I guess. So there we go. Let's see here. While fluconazole played a role of increasing the intracellular berberine concentration, since the antifungal activity of berberine alone is very weak, minimum inhibitory concentration of greater than 128 micrograms per milliliter. I do wonder in regards if that is if they mean in regards to beginning to kill it off, or in regards to, no, because it is the MIC. So, it's conflicting with the other information that I have, which says it's only like 8 micrograms per milliliter, from 128 down to 8 micrograms, it's pretty a good amount of difference, right? So I don't know why there would be any difference in that. But anyway, It was assumed that fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans was naturally tolerant to berberine. Okay. And this tolerance could be reversed by fluconazole. It was assumed that fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans was tolerant to berberine. And this tolerance could be reversed by fluconazole. The present study aimed to elucidate the mechanism, I guess, to find out, to figure out what is, let's see, elucidate, make clear and more comprehensible, okay. Elucidate the mechanism underlying berberine tolerance in fluconazole resistance, Candida albicans, and its disruption by fluconazole. But if it's, I don't know, it's just a little weird, I think. But anyway, the ergosterol quantitative, and the ergosterol is what fluconazole is targeting, That's the fluconazole, all the azoles are targeting ergosterol in regard to the fungus. And thereby should make it pop, pretty much, The ergosterol but apparently it can become resistant to it, so... I do wonder. Oh, that was actually a question I actually need to ask as well. In regard. What day is that actually today? It's Tuesday. So it's actually today that dog is coming on. So I should really do some questions for him. He knows a lot in regards to fungus. That would be one question. If the Candida albicans is resistant to one fluconazole remedy, why wouldn't it be resistant to other fluconazole remedies, that works? Because they're working on the same thing in regards to ergosterol. So, I don't know. The ergosterol quantitative analysis showed that, and also in regards to berberine as well, the ergosterol quantitative analysis showed that, and of course, Doug Kaufman is, in regards of know the cause, is more interested in actually natural remedies than actually... but he is, talking about, fluconazole or diflucan and nystatin as tools to help, as I understand it, though, Kaufman, he's using like the whole thing, whatever can do the job, pretty much. He's not just looking on one area, he's looking on the full spectrum, whatever can kill this fungus, using all the spectrum, instead of just using one direction. So that's his viewpoint, it seems, as far as I understand. The present study aimed to elucidate the mechanism underlying berberine tolerance and fluconazole resistance Candida albicans and its disruption by fluconazole. The ergosterol quantitative analysis showed that berberine mono treatment, that would be, I guess, single treatment. Mono, I guess, is single, right? But of course, it's very hard to write English, so let's just put mono, apparently. Let's see. Mono, single channel, I guess. Mono, one single, mono. I guess stereo is then, I don't know, in regards of anyway, but that would be two or more, or two actually, right? Anyway, the ergosterol, I'm not sure how that works out. Mono, stereo, if stereo is coming from a word that, anyway, whatever, let's get back to it. So the ergosterol quantitative analysis showed that the berberine mono treatment could increase the content of cellular ergosterol. Real-time AT-PCR, and then we go with the problem in regards of the stupidity of the program. Let's try to, it's just pink, why would LG ever make pink, Now let's try the medical book here. And they want, 200 kronos for this? Have to be kidding me. It's nice to have a doctor's dictionary, but, 400 kronos or 200 kronos, you have to be kidding me. And then, there we go, but anyway. There we go with advertising, yeah, great. I should actually go back and put this on. And close it down and open it again. and we should be, we should be protected in regards to that bullshit. Having a so-called free program and then having advertising in it is just bullshit. 30 days of free without any advertising, and then advertising, and still having the access to the thing would be, I think, fair. But anyway, abbreviation for reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. Oh, so reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. Yeah, great. Okay. So that's what it means. I have no idea, in regards to what that totally does or whatever. So real-time RT-PCR revealed the global upregulation of ergosterol synthesis genes in response to berberine exposure. So upregulation of ergosterol synthesis genes in response to berberine exposure. In addition, exogenous ergosterol could decrease intracellular berberine concentration and increase the expression of drug efflux pump genes, further reducing the susceptibility. We'll go with one of these big words they tend to use a lot as well, or at least you see it from time to time. Susceptibility of Candida albicans to berberine. So, and susceptibility is it's the opposite of resistance, pretty much. So if you have 93% of susceptibility, you have 7% of them being resistant, Anyway, similar to fluconazole, other antifungal agents reacting on ergosterol were able to synergize with berberine against fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans. So apparently, similar to fluconazole, other antifungal agents acting on ergosterol were able to synergize with berberine against fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans. So that sounds nice. So other antifungal, I guess, in regards of acting on ergosterol, that would be all the azoles, I guess. Like fluconazole is in the azole category, Sporanox is in the azole category, and you have others which I can't remember. But anyway, however, the antifungal agent not acting on ergosterol were not synergistic with berberine. So, however, the antifungal agents not acting on ergosterol were not synergetic with berberine. So I need to get some berberine, it seems, before I run out of diflucan to try it out, Maybe it will actually give anyway, that would be nice. The question is, where do I get it, Ordering will take some days to get, so that's not so good. So if I could actually get it from a shop someplace in Denmark, that would be the best thing. So these results suggested that ergosterol was okay. So these results suggested that ergosterol was required for berberine tolerance. So these suggest that ergosterol was required for berberine tolerance, and fluconazole could enhance the susceptibility of fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans to berberine by inhibiting ergosterol synthesis. Oh, okay. So apparently fluconazole, I guess, helps with Candida albicans not being able to make ergosterol synthesis or something like that. So you're attacking it on two fronts or something like that. Introduction. Oh, I thought okay. Candida albicans is one of the most common clinical fungal pathogens, harmful microbes. And because superficial mycosis, that's in regards of mycosis in regards of fungal infection, invasive mucosal infection, I think that's in regards of the, it's just, fix it up so we don't, maybe I can take this one and do it. I have 2 more days. and I probably will delete it, you know. Let's see. Yeah, relating to mucosa or mucous membrane. Where did we go? Oh, yeah, there we go. Invasive mucosal infection and disseminated systemic disease. And disseminated is like going around in regards to the body. Wilson et al. 2002. Gottlock's son et al. 2003. Wispenhoff et al. 2004. And P. Faller and Diakema 2007. Despite the increasing need for effective antifungal therapy, the antifungal agents available are still limited. So, despite the increasing need for effective antifungal therapy, the antifungal agents available are still limited. Fluconazole, a classic antifungal agent, has been widely used in the clinic due to its high bioavailability and low toxicity. Ahmed et al. 2002, White et al. 2002. However, drug resistance isolates are emerging rapidly with the increasing clinical use of fluconazole. Horn et al. I'm not sure what it stands for, but anyway. 2009, the combination of two or more antifungal agents may be an alternative strategy to solve the aforementioned problem. And again, you know, there's other solutions that I can try out for sure in regards of this issue, but you know, it's just cost a lot of resources, you know, and I don't really have them. But yeah, it's like throwing resources down in a black hole in some sense. It's just you can really end up using a huge amount of resources on trying this and trying that, you know. That's very sad. Anyway, of course, because the doctors are pretty much incompetent, you know, to do that job, and the whole system, it's just, you know, it's just, yeah, sad to see how it's. Anyway, berberine and also we do see some scare tactics in regards to berberine as well. And again, you just see the medical mafia pretty much attacking these alternative things, you know, and where they say, oh, there's a lot of this and that, and they attack, you know, just and they call them, you know, they have a good organ for and they're the same thing with our health in regards of food and like raw milk and so forward. How they just totally make it illegal to have a natural product like raw milk, and yeah, it's bullshit. This society is utter bullshit. You know, pushing for vaccines and fungus poison in regards of antibiotics and all that, and yet the real natural food sources are destroyed and kept away from the people, and we're getting sick, and the whole system is just against us, you know. It's utter bullshit, you know. It's a murdering system that apparently the people don't want to change. Apparently, they just want to have their family die off to the left and the right and get sick on this and that, because no one apparently people just goes along to get along. You know, it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. What a wicked society we live in, you know. An evil, wicked society. Any case, you know, so they have these. They have cancer. They call it cancer. They have diabetes. They call it diabetes. And then we have what do you call it? When you have dementia and all that, and all three seems to be connected to fungus. Do they want to point that out? No, because there's money to be made, and a lot of people that is just a-okay with that apparently. it's just bullshit. What a wicked world. What an utter wicked world. Anyway, berberine is an isoquinoline alkaloid. Has a long history of medicinal use in traditional Chinese medicine. The biological, I think I have like, I think last time I looked at my account, I think I had minus 5,000 kroners. So it's not really good. Anyway. So, anyway, berberine, it's just the thing, you have so many people out there suffering and not getting the help they need and actually getting misdiagnosed and mistreated. You have to be kidding me, And the doctor is not talking about diet. It's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. Why would you ever have this white coat murderer and butcher, guide you in health if he doesn't even know that diet plays a role in regards of health? You have to be kidding me, That's incredible. Anyway. And of course, in regards to the environment as well. If you have cancer and you live in a place where there's a lot of fungus, mold, get out of the building, So, yeah, anyway. Because we know that fungus poison can give you cancer. And I know it seems like it's more than the fungal poison. It releases both spores and fungal poison. So if you're inhaling fungus poison from a mold, you're probably also inhaling its babies, So anyway. And the poison, suppresses your immune system, so the babies have a greater chance to actually, grow. Anyway, berberine, an isoquinoline alkaloid, has a long history of medicinal use in traditional Chinese medicine. The biological and pharmacological effect of berberine have been studied extensively in recent years. It was reported that berberine could bind to DNA to affect DNA replication, transcription, and cell cycle. Yadav et al. 2005, Boberic et al. 2010, Batra and Kumar 2011. Berberine is used mainly in antibacterial therapy in clinic because of its cytotoxic effect. Cytotoxic, not sure what that is. Let's see. Can't even turn around this application, I only have one direction apparently. Cytotoxic, what is that? Detrimental or destructive to cells. Okay. That doesn't sound good, does it? But apparently, anyway. Berberine is used mainly in antibacterial therapy in clinic because of its cytotoxic effect. And we have all these Sturmats et al. 2000, Bal et al. 2006, Samuelson et al. 2009, and Etafak et al. 2011. However, the antifungal activity of berberine is extremely weak. But that's not what I've seen in regards of other researchers. So that's the thing. When you read these research papers and this and that, there are differences, And, I have one research that says it's actually more effective than diflucan in regards to the MIC. And then you have, the minimum inhibitory concentration. Here it says it's greater than 128 micrograms per milliliter. And it says Nakamoto et al. 1990, Park et al. 1999, Volokova et al. 2003. But again, we have other research papers that says otherwise, that is actually more effective than diflucan. So anyway, in our previous study, we found that fluconazole berberine combination was highly efficacious in killing. Okay, is that effective? Is that another word for effective? I think it is, but let's not just say effective apparently. Okay.
Efficacious.
Marked by qualities giving the power to produce an intended effect. Okay, yeah, okay. So it's becomes more powerful, I guess. Effective in killing fluconazole resistance candida albicans with the fractional inhibitory concentration. FIC index was less than 0.5. 0.5 what? The inhibitory concentration. Okay, the fractional inhibitory concentrations, FIC. But what is FIC, in regards of... So that's the difference in regards to the other thing, I guess. Let's just try the medical... Oh, that was not the medical. There we go. See what it says. I guess it doesn't really say much in regards to the dictionary. Still searching. Well, it is closing. The sunset is closing, so that would be the next dose of diflucan, being taken, and that's great. I really should look into the other thing and see if I can actually find this thing and try it out. At least see if I can just end it with this. Diflucan and this other, what was it called, berberine. It would be nice just try it out to see if it actually give it another punch. But I'm already resveratrol, cloves, cinnamon, I'm already on different other things. Well, that's pretty much what I have left, I guess. And of course some vitamins as well at the moment, so yeah. Of course, there's no other way than to move in that direction. Again, after the explosion I had from my breast in regards of eating sugary things and all that, I absolutely know that returning, to a sugary diet is absolutely no go. That really gave me a what you would say, a kick in the butt. That was so stupid of me. I should have continued to eat meat, red meat, cow or sheep or maybe even goat. I haven't tried goat, but I think goat might be a red meat. I haven't tried it out, sadly. It would be interesting to try out at some point. I guess this is probably tastes like goat. In regards to high meat as well is something that I might be able to try out as well. There's no sugar in that either. So I've seen like high meat, they call it high meat, and they put it in a glass and close it down and just let it rot pretty much. And let the bacteria grow and all that. And apparently some say you're getting high when you eat it. I don't know. I guess it's something to try out, and hopefully it will not make things worse. A lot of these fermentation seems to actually make things worse. And I need to try out the coal as well, the active coal. I think that actually might be a thing that actually might help in regards to the gut, taking all the mycotoxins to it or poisons to it, and actually helping the body to get rid of toxins as well. So that seems to be and there's no sugar in that either. Apparently it's called binders. Apparently there's different kinds of binders. There's also the green things that I actually have, but there's sugar in it. It's like 50% of it is sugar, I think. I saw some data on that. I can't remember the exact, but there's some sugar in it. So eating some active coal might actually be better. And I guess I can put it in my steak. I've seen other where they put it in ice cream and whatever and all that to give it color and all that. So it shouldn't actually be that problematic to eat, as far as I can see. And I could put it in my steak, in my grounded meat, and just fix it up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I have a lot of good ideas, I guess. The problem is the money at the moment, the resources. But I have a lot of information I've collected, and I still have a lot of papers to read and information in regards to this and that, in regards to food and so forward. But yeah, just need some resources, pretty much to I guess get in that line of working that way. And see what happens. See if I can actually turn the boat around totally. It would be nice. It would be very nice. So the biological and pharmacological, there's in regards of really low source, which is also said to actually have other things in it that is positive. But I like cucumber, right? Cucumber and avocados are really good as well. Also in regards to the to have passing through with the crab and all that in the gut. Because if you're only eating meat, you don't really have that much trash to. So broccoli is said to be pretty good as well, but I'm not totally sure. But it has as much sugar as the cucumber. Avocados is pretty much the lowest of the sugar that I've. As far as and again, it seems to be pretty good in regards of passing stool. So anyway, there's a lot of testing still to go on. So the biological pharmacology effect of berberine have been studied extensively in recent years. It was reported that berberine could bind to DNA to affect DNA replication, transcription, and cell cycle. Yadav et al. 2005, Boberek et al. 2010, Batrad and Kumar 2011. Berberine is used mainly in antibacterial therapy in clinic because of its cytotoxic effect, apparently. Oh yeah, we already read that. However, the antifungal activity of berberine is extremely weak, they say, according to these things, apparently. In our previous study, we found that fluconazole-berberine combination was highly efficacious in killing fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans. With the fractional inhibitory concentration index was smaller than 0.5. I don't know what the what it is overall, That was pretty much where we came to. Battery is going low, so we'll... constituting or comprising a part of fraction of a possible whole or entirely. Okay, but I'm not so sure how that fractional inhibitory concentration index was less than 0.5. Kuan et al. 2006. Not sure what it totally is, but our proteomic analysis demonstrated the effect on the expression of proteins functioning in energy metabolism following fluconazole and berberine treatment. It further revealed that the augmentation of endogenous reactive oxygen species contributed to the synergism of fluconazole and berberine against fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans isolates, XU et al. 2009. With the deepening in the synergism by causing cell cycle arrest and DNA damage, while fluconazole played a role of increasing the intracellular berberine concentration by damaging the cell membrane of drug-resistant Candida albicans isolates. Lee et al. 2013. Considering the weak antifungal effect of berberine monotherapy, we hypothesized that a natural BBR-tolerant mechanism might exist in fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans, which could be disrupted by fluconazole. So a fluconazole-resistant Candida albicans can actually be disrupted by the fluconazole still, and yet then the berberine acts against the fungus apparently. So that seems to be what they're saying. I'm not entirely that. The present study aimed to elucidate the mechanism underlying berberine's tolerance in fluconazole resistance Candida albicans isolates and the effect of fluconazole on berberine's tolerance. But then it seems like if it actually works better together, they should probably make something that is sold together, right, with the berberine and the fluconazole. But anyway. Materials and methods, strains, media, and compounds. 2 clinical isolates of Candida albicans 03041003 and 01010, both with fluconazole MIC 80 as larger than 64 micrograms per milliliter, and berberine minimum in inhibitory concentration of 80. Larger than 16 micrograms per milliliter. What is it called again? Minimum inhibitory concentrations of 80 was determined as the lowest concentration of the drug that inhibited cell growth by 80%. Were used in the study. Candida albicans were routinely propagated in yeast peptone dextrose YPD liquid medium. 1% W/V yeast extract, 2% W/V peptone, and 2% W/V dextrose. I'm not entirely sure what they mean. A V might be for volume, I'm not sure. Anyway, at 30 degrees in a shaking in Q beta, fluconazole, Pfizer, Roerich Pharmaceuticals, New York, USA. I don't know why it's 2 times. Anyway, was prepared in sterile H2O, that's water, berberine, Sigma Eldrick, St. Louis, MO, USA. Was prepared in dimethyl sulfoside, DMSO, and ergosterol, Sigma Eldrick. Was prepared in tween 80 ethanol in 1:1 VV ratio as 5 mm stock. I don't know. Song et al. 2010, Serral et al. 2013. Volume, 1:1 volume, or something like that. I don't know. We're closing down. So that's what's that. Battery going down. Oh.